Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the One Last Ride Slay the Spire playthrough. With Slay the Spire 2 coming to early access soon, the timing felt right. Want to play it one more time, and I think this is a great opportunity for all of us to appreciate what a great game this is. What we're looking at here, I got a new copy of Slay the Spire. I actually usually play on console. But for the playthrough, thought we would switch it up, do it on Steam, start from scratch, and remember some of the early times together. So without further ado, let's take a look. I did not tinker with the settings too much. The only thing I did was enable fast mode. That's this one down here. I think once you go to fast mode, which basically just speeds up the gameplay a little bit, it's hard to go back. Feels a little bit slow. The actual like animations and the card playing feels slow to me, so we're gonna stick to fast mode, which is what I'm used to. I did boot up one game of the Ironclad earlier, so you'll notice when we enter the play menu here, I have unlocked the silent just by starting that game. But for our first run, let's go to the Ironclad. Definitely my most played and favorite character. Not sure I would say the strongest of the core characters, but maybe we can debate that as we go along. Do a standard run here. We'll go to the Ironclad. Let's get started. So the one thing that definitely jumps out at me as different playing a new copy of the game is, you don't have all the cards. The compendium is not complete. I kind of forget how you unlock them. I'm not sure if it's just like a card per playthrough or if you get a certain distance in a run, you get a new card. So we're going to remember that together. Very curious to see how that impacts my deck building, because there's definitely some cards in the Ironclad in particular that I have a tendency to take basically every time. But let's take a look. So we will get Meow's Blessing. Because I ended that run earlier, we're just going to get the two options here. Usually if you confront the first boss on the first floor, you'll get a couple more. I think step one before we choose one of these will be to look at the map. I'll tell you, without even looking at the map, of these two options, I will almost certainly take enemies in our next three combats have 1 HP. Not always the optimal choice, but definitely the more fun choice in my book. I like to try and snipe elites. I think that a lot of our favorite streamers like to do that too. So let's take a look. Let's see if that's even an option. Now, I have a tendency to pick my path on gut feeling, which is definitely not the best way to play. I also like to look for fun potential. So like I said, elite sniping is big for me. I enjoy question marks. I definitely don't go out of my way to take them all the time. They are not the strongest option in my opinion, especially early in their run. But let's take a look and then we'll debate amongst ourselves. So I'm looking around here. I do see a possible elite snipe starting from this kind of third node down here, but we would be praying to get a little bit lucky. 3 question marks, pretty unlikely that we're gonna make it, but that seems like the path I'm gonna try out. I would rate myself as a decent Slay the Spire player. I've beaten Ascension 20 Heart on all characters. I forgot about the tutorials early on. Beat powerful foes or within chests. Good to know. All right. But yeah, I've beaten A20 Heart on all characters. I think, when I'm try-harding, I can do pretty well. I think early on in these runs, I'll probably win pretty effectively. Get our usual cultist here. Pretty easy fight with the Niao's bonus. Take our gold, and we get our first choice of the day. Let's see. I definitely remember early on in my Slay the Spire days, I thought Flex was a really strong card. I'm not sure I feel that way anymore. Let's see. Thunderclap. Deal damage and apply vulnerable. If I remember correctly, Thunderclap, downside here is the upgrade does not give you additional vulnerable. Warcry. I'm a firm believer that damage early is important. I think we'll go ahead and try Thunderclap early on here and see where that takes us. Get our first question mark of the run. Find some potions. I'm never going to complain about that early. Potions are the best cards, in my opinion. 0 cost and usually have very powerful effects. Drink or throw potions during combat. Thanks, Slay the Spire. Appreciate the heads up. But yeah, A20 Heart in all characters. I think that my plan for the One Last Ride playthrough will be to beat each Ascension level and then do an A20 Heart run in all characters, which I'm sure will take by far the longest of any run. But let's see how we do with the Ironclad first. Okay, we've got our little louse friends here. We'll just knock them out. I guess Slay the Spire gives you a little tutorial when you get new types of cards, too. I noticed it didn't mention it for the skills or attacks, but for powers. Gave us a little heads up. I think Feel No Pain is one of the best cards in the Ironclad's collection. We don't have much that synergizes it right now with that, but it is tempting. Armaments is the one that jumps out at me as a good early pick. I think that getting that upgrade early on, and then the Armaments upgrade also, I remember being very strong. I believe it upgrades all of the cards in your hand instead of just one. I think we'll try Armaments. Okay, we get a shop early on. Got a little bit of gold. Never a bad thing to check the shop. Let's see. Wish I could get Hand of Greed. I think Hand of Greed early, not only fun, but a very strong card. We don't have any powers that really work with Rupture. True Grit is a very strong card. The upgrade in particular. I think a common beginner mistake is to see the word exhaust and think it's a bad thing. I think exhaust tends to be very strong, and particularly on the Ironclad. There's a lot of exhaust synergies. And then the upgrade to exhaust a card of your choice is also pretty good. Getting a little bit used to the UI here. You know, console, you hit a couple buttons to view the cards, but I guess on PC, you right click and then you can see the upgrades that way. Cool. Good to know. All right. Still have a shot at that elite, so let's go take the question mark path here. And we will get a chance here. We get the Big Fish event. You make your way down a long corridor, you see a banana, a donut, and a box floating about. No, upon closer inspection, they are tied to strings coming from holes in the ceiling. There is a quiet cackling from above as you approach the objects. What do you do? Okay. We can either eat the banana and heal 26 HP, we can eat the donut and gain 5 max HP, or we can get a relic at the cost of a curse. I am the type of player who tries to avoid curses unless I have a very good reason to take one, or some way to mitigate it. Regret, in particular, I believe, is a very bad curse. Let's see. At the end of your turn, lose HP equal to the number of cards in your hand. Pretty rough. Mitigated a little bit by the Ironclad's Burning Blood starting relic. Get that HP back every fight. For this event, I have a tendency to take the max HP unless I have a way to actually avoid the curse, or if I have enough damage to take the full 26 HP or whatever the number is. I can't remember if it switches by character, but we'll take the max HP for now. Okay. option to rest or smith. There will be more options available to us as we get further in the game, get some different relics. No reason for us to rest right now. We have full HP, so let's go ahead and hit Smith. A little bit of a tough call. I do think the upgrade on Shrew Grid is extremely strong. I will probably go with armaments just because it upgrades everything for the rest of a fight. Considering we have no upgrades in our deck yet, that seems like a very strong option. So we'll go ahead and upgrade armaments. Some of you might be asking, why haven't I popped fruit juice yet? That's this potion at the top here where you gain 5 max HP for free. Very strong potion. But seeing as we have no damage, we're not in any immediate danger, and we have not opened our first chest yet, I would prefer to wait and see if we get something that maybe synergizes with HP or potions. Definitely some stuff out there that will make that better, if I remember correctly. So we'll hang on to it for now, and we'll see what happens. But let's go to our elite fight here. Lagavulin. Little hermit crab looking guy. Starts the fight asleep, and if you damage him, he'll wake up. But fortunately for us, he's going to go down real quick here with Niao's Blessing. So we'll pop armors just for fun since we just upgraded it. So you see, upgrade all of our cards here, and then 1 strike should do it. And we get our free elite. With some gold. Well, now that we have the option to take another potion, I think we will go ahead and pop fruit juice. So let's click on fruit juice. Like I said, still getting used to the interface here, but pretty straightforward. We'll take the Swift Potion. Now, Guria, very strong relic on the Ironclad, I think, but big opportunity cost. You know, this is one of those things where, well, right now we only have the option to rest and smith at rest sites, but now we have the option to lift, I think is what it's called. Let's see, tell you here. Gain strength at rest sites. That doesn't actually say here, but 1 strength per lift, if I remember correctly. So we'll take that. And then we'll look for maybe some strength synergies. A lot of fan favorites here. We didn't take Feel No Pain, but Dark Embrace Feel No Pain tends to be a pretty strong combo. Still think it's a little early to take those. Don't really have anything that works with Dark Embrace. Expensive. Got 2-cost card. Between Anger and Shrug It Off. Tough call. Tough call. I think we have to take Anger here. As much as I love Shrug It Off, I think it's a tremendously good card. But free damage. We didn't really add a lot of damage into our deck yet. And we're going to need something to fight our boss in future fights. So let's take Anger. Okay. Moving right along. Going up against the Jawworm. These make a reappearance on future floors in greater numbers, if I remember correctly. Let's see, 11 damage. We'll go ahead and try to block as much of that as we can, and then we'll hit him with a strike. Some of you might be asking, why the Great Jimbabwe? I don't know. It rolls off the tongue to me. I think it's got a little snappiness to it. We'll hit him with the Thunderclap. Let's see. No attack this turn, so we can just throw as many attacks as we can. But yeah, the Great Jimbabwe. I thought it was a kind of a cool name. It rolls off the tongue. Some of my other gamer tags have some references to TV shows in them, so I didn't want to use those here. And I think it's a kind of a neat name. My wife actually wanted me to be the OK Jimbabwe. She said great is a little bit much, but I think it's great. So sticking with that. 14 damage incoming here. I think this is a must armaments. We'll get our upgrades. Play Anger for free. Let's see. I think we want to go ahead and pop Shrew Grit, and we'll exhaust a defend, and then hit him with a strike. So hopefully next turn we'll have a pretty good shot to end this fight. Let's see, a lot of ways to do it here. Easiest one is play strike, get our HP back, get some gold. Okay. Entrenched, perfected, strike, and cleave. We do have a little bit of AoE with Thunderclap. AoE being area of effect damage, ability to hit more than one enemy in a single card. Entrench, I think we can rule out. It's a little very expensive here. We don't have much that goes with it. All we do have a couple block cards, I guess, but perfected strike, kind of a higher single target damage card. I don't think we have anything else with strike in it now. So feels like cleave to me. Open our first relic chest of the run. Calibers. The start of your turn, lose 15 block rather than all of your block. That is a very strong relic. A lot of ways to make that go with Ironclad in particular. You can get some exponential block scaling with some cards. Entrench being one of them, actually, so we got to look at that. Maybe if it pops up again, we'll have more reason to take it. Do full HP here. I definitely want to fight this elite coming up. We'll hit the question mark just because I like the question mark spaces. We got another shop. Cannot afford a relic, I don't think. Let's see. Feed. Pretty great card. Combust. Not the biggest user of Combust. I don't think 5 damage to all enemies. I think it's like 7 upgraded. Let's see. Yeah, 7 upgraded to all enemies. There's some self-damage builds out there for Ironclad for sure. Oh man, Disarm on sale. I think Disarm's a pretty good defensive card. We have enough damage. Who are we fighting? Going up against the Guardian. I think if that was Hexagos, I would take Disarm, but I think we'll remove a card for now. Card removal, definitely one of the areas that you have to learn how great it is, but the idea is, you get rid of your weaker cards, and as you add stronger cards, you draw them more frequently. Let's cut a strike. We'll get rid of a basic strike here. Tempting to take a defense since we have armaments and true grit. You know what? Might talk myself into it. Take a defend. And we'll hang on to the rest of our cash. I love the question mark spaces. I think we will fight this enemy and plan to hit this campfire since we do have the option to lift. All right. We're out of some of the basic pool fights. We're fighting Jawworm plus a slime this time. So I think we'll play armaments and get these upgraded early. Go ahead and play a defend. So we can fully block this turn's worth of damage. And then I think we'll hit the slime with a strike. A little bit lower HP. Let's try to get him off the field quickly. So we are frail, kind of our first negative effect of the run. Frail, 25% less block from cards for 1 turn. Fortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be the end of the world for us. We are going up against very little damage this turn. And so let's keep the attacks rolling. The right order here is defend, through grit. And then we'll just give up on a strike. I think we have enough damage with the angers to make that work. Okay. We're frail again. It's unfortunate, but we're going to take this guy off the map. Let's see, 7 damage. I think we go ahead and block as much as we can. That is one of the themes of Slay the Spire, is you will not be able to block all damage all the time. So something you're going to have to get used to as we roll through this. But with Ironclad in particular, I'm very much okay with taking some damage along the way. Okay. Jawworm is thinking about blocking and maybe powering itself up. I think it's going to give itself some strength. But I don't think it's going to be around for too much longer. So let's hit him with a strike and an anger. We'll keep our defend in the deck for now. Especially as we dilute it with more angers. Probably doesn't matter too much on this fight, but as the fights get harder, we'll want to be careful with how we play that. Let's see. With 34 health. We have our bash. I think bash, 2 angers, and a strike does it. I'm not even going to do the math. There you go. It's a pretty good start. I definitely expected non-Ascension runs to be fairly easy, but definitely losable still. Let's see here. So calipers with body slam is pretty interesting. Body slam also upgrades to 0 cost, I think. Yeah. With armaments also in our deck. Try some body slam. Give it a shot. All right, we'll go to the campfire, and it is lift. So it's not just a Guria, there's an actual lift option. So let's take it. We got full health. And then we'll challenge another elite. The Gremlin Knob has ended many a run in Slay the Spire 1. I think we saw the Gremlin Knob make an appearance in the Slay the Spire 2 trailer, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he'll be ending some more runs along the way. Tempted to try the colorless potion, or maybe our swift potion, draw some more cards. For now, our strikes are a little better with the lift. We'll hit him with 3 strikes and an anger. Hopefully get our bash, and then we can start to really whittle this guy down. I think we're going to be okay for now. So we'll hang on to the potions until we have to do something else. 14 damage. I'm going to go ahead and bash. I think we can't kill him this turn. We'll hit him with a thunderclap. And then we'll call it there. We'll hang on to our potions a little longer. But if things get hairy here, we might pop that colorless potion and see if we can get some more damage out on the field. So downside of Gremlin Knob, if you play a skill, he gets stronger. Non-Ascension Gremlin Knob, a little less scary, only 14 damage on the second turn. And higher Ascensions, I think he makes you vulnerable and then does a tremendous amount of damage. So it gets dangerous really quickly. But we'll give him a little strength to play armaments. Let's see, so we'll do 18 with cleave. Another 15, and then next turn we should be looking pretty good. All right. Easy win for us. Bottled Lightning. So this is kind of our first kind of nuanced choice of the game. We could just click it right now and bottle something like armaments. I believe Bottled Lightning is on pickup, choose a skill, start each combat with this card in your hand. So if you bottle armaments, you're able to upgrade all your cards right out of the gate at the beginning of every fight. And if you have ways to add more cards to your hand on that turn, that gets even better. But I like to look at the cards available to me first and then decide if there's something I might want to bottle in that trio. Infernal Blade, Feel No Pain, Dual Wield. Dual Wield I'm kind of ruling out in my head. I think there's definitely cases where Dual Wield is good. Not sure that it fits extremely well in our current deck. We do have an exhaust synergy with True Grit. Feel No Pain is just so strong, and now that we have a little something to go with it, I think we'll try it. And then we will bottle Armament. Looking pretty good so far. Taking a little bit of damage, but nothing alarming yet. All right. I think we'll go ahead and reap the benefit of our bottled lightning. And we'll pop Feel No Pain. The thing about powers is playing them gets them out of your deck pool. So we don't necessarily want to let that whip around from the discard pile back to our draw pile. I think if we have a turn to play it, we should play it. So the slimes, once they get to 50% HP or less, will split. That's at least for the bigger slimes. Not a factor for us on this turn, but we'll want to be careful as we play more attacks. Once again, not attacking though, so we'll hit him with a cleave. Let's see, so 7 would take him down to 34, so he would split. I would say that is not a good enough split. So let's go ahead and end our turn there with a little bit of extra energy. Okay, now we have some attacks. Kind of a tricky situation. I don't think Body Slam is playable with True Grit here. So I think we'll bash and strike and avoid the 16 damage. So that means he will split into 2 smaller enemies with 22 HP each. End our turn. It hasn't happened yet, but if we were to get slimed by these guys and then we exhausted those slimes, that does synergize with Feel No Pain. So there's some block associated with making those slimes get out of our deck. Thunderclap seems pretty good to me here. Do a little damage to both of them. Then we can hit Anger for free. Strike, get one off the field, strike the other one, and hopefully get a turn or 2 away from winning this fight. Okay, and there we go. Get a little HP back. Always good if we've bled a little HP to get it back for free. Get our gold. I mean, I'm not saying Barricade is the optimal choice here, but definitely the most fun. Barricade, block is not removed at the start of your turn. So with Feel No Pain, there's definitely some ways to break that. On top of Feel No Pain, we also have Calipers, so we would only lose 15 block instead of all of our block. I guess that doesn't matter too much now that I think about it, because Barricade, once played, we would not lose any block. I still like it. This is definitely enough HP, 77, enough for me to be lifting here. So we'll get a little more strength in case we need to pivot down the road. Fight the Guardian. So the Guardian, what you need to do is do enough damage to get him to flip into his alternate state. If you don't, then he starts to attack with much heavier hitting attacks. So let's see. Barricade is tempting because we could play it first, but I think we need to do a little damage here and see if we can get him to flip before we play Barricade. We'll get armaments out there. Barricade now cheaper, so we can play that in the future for less energy. I think we'll hit him with the bash and then see if we draw maybe Anger and a couple of strikes next turn. Might be a little tight. We could always play one of our potions and see what happens there. Let's see. It's looking like we're going to be okay here. I think if we strike, and then Thunderclap, that does it. It doesn't really, the order doesn't matter too much since we already have Vulnerable out there. So let's play him out. And we put him into the mode shift here. He's going to get some spikes that penalize us for attacking him. So let's see. Okay, I forgot early Ascensions, or non-Ascension mode. These spikes are not as formidable as they become later on. Only 3 damage per attack, on top of the 9 damage that he's planning to do. I think we should just go ahead and defend here. No reason not to block all that damage, and we're not going to attack him here. I don't want to take damage for no reason. Okay. Looks like we will be taking some damage here. We could exhaust with Feel No Pain and potentially block it that way. I think we're just going to play Feel No Pain. Defend. And we'll take 6 damage. Not the end of the world. No blocks here. This could be a situation where exhaust comes into play. We'll drink our potion. Let's see what we get. I think we can go armaments, defend, and then maybe decide what we want to do from there. I think we'll hit him with a strike plus, start whittling down that 40. It's coming to starting to realize that I'm not remembering as much as I thought. Definitely more challenging than I would have expected, but I think we're doing fine. I don't remember all of the enemy interactions like I once did. Okay, he's getting ready to pull out his big attack here, but I think 29 HP should be pretty doable for us. Hit him with a bash. Let's hit him with a cleave. All right, we got to do 2 damage. Very achievable. Let's see what happens. All right, definitely looking good. We might stack some vulnerable. Stack the vulnerable. No reason to play armaments here. All these cards are upgraded already, so we'll do 2 more attacks. I think boss design is something this game really got right. These are well-balanced fights. I thought even in the higher ascensions, as they get harder, they were winnable, but you had to kind of plan for them ahead of time. So that's something that we're going to have to get better at as we go along. But for now, I think we get away with playing the cards that are sent our way. I would love to play Barricade here, but no reason to take damage. Let's start building some good habits. Let's see. We'll block as much as we can. I'm willing to keep the vulnerable going at the cost of some HP. Okay. I think cleave is a non-negotiable. We'll hit him with a thunderclap and then we'll play True Grit. Get a little extra block from Feel No Pain there. I'm gonna play Barricade so we don't draw it anymore. I think it also could come in handy as we play some more blocks, but I'm thinking we'll have no trouble flipping him next turn. And we're looking pretty good. We'll flip with Bash to keep the vulnerable going. And we'll throw a Thunderclap in there too. I think we're going to be just fine here. Play armaments, upgrade a couple more of our cards. Tempting. Build those good habits, like we said. Hit with a defend. See, 16 damage again. We'll just take a little bit of damage here. Not sure that this is the optimal play. I'm sure as we play more runs as the Ironclad, I'll remember the correct way to do things. But until then, enjoy my suboptimal gaming. I'm tempted to play True Grit and see and get that extra block from Feel No Pain. But we'll definitely defend. We'll go Thunderclap. We'll go Cleave. A little closer than I would have liked. But I think we're okay here. Let's see. Strike. Strike. Do a little extra damage with armaments. So probably 1 or 2 cards away, depending on what we draw. Let's see. All right, 1 card away. Hey, we got a little trophy for defeating the Guardian. Very nice. Elixir actually, usually not one of my favorite potions. Definitely has its use cases, but with Feel No Pain in our deck, Exhaust could be helpful. A lot of good choices here. Demon Form, game-breaking card, adding strength every turn. Definitely expensive. The upgrade also does not make it cheaper, if I remember correctly. Let's see. 3 strength instead of 2, so still good. We already have Barricade offering. Definitely one of those cards that I think when you first play Slay the Spire, looks like it has some pretty severe negatives, especially if you are of the opinion that exhaust is a bad thing. But in our case, we have an exhaust synergy in a positive direction, ways to get some HP back, and we are a little bit short on energy, in my opinion. So I think offering is the easy choice here. Yeah, we're going to take offering. Our first boss relic of the run. Let's see. I definitely have my favorites. There are some boss relics that I just don't like to touch. But let's see what we get. Okay, Cursed Key, Ectoplasm, and Tiny House. Tiny House probably the meme relic of this group. I think this Slay the Spire community seems to make fun of it quite a bit, but I think my opinion of Tiny House has grown a little. It's gone up a little bit over the years. I think getting a boon going into the second floor is like basically every department is good. I always kind of wondered why one of the positive things about Tiny House wasn't remove a card from your deck. I think that would make it extremely strong. Yeah, 50 gold, a potion, some HP, getting a new card, and then upgrading a random card. All little things that make you a lot better. In our case, we also have 3 potions already, though, so we actually wouldn't get much out of that. Guess we could replace an elixir. Ectoplasm. I thought this was a good relic when I first started playing Slay the Spire. I think it's kind of terrible, to be honest with you. I think not being able to gain gold is a pretty severe downside, unless you already have a lot of gold. So, if you get it at the end of the second act, I think it's a little bit stronger. But I avoid ectoplasm pretty much all the time at the end of the first floor. Maybe in a situation where you have a lot of what you need and you're just short energy, it's okay. But of these 3, I think Curse Key is the easiest choice. I know I said avoid curses like the plague, but First Key has a very controllable downside, which I think, I could choose not to open a chest, and it doesn't hurt my boss relic chest. Getting it on the first floor also a little bit worse. You'd like to see this later on when your deck is a little bit more set. But I think Cursed Key is in the conversation for best relic in the game. Probably top 5. Let's take Cursed Key. Okay. We'll continue with the theme of choosing path on gut feeling. Unlike the first floor, I think question marks on the second floor are a little bit stronger. I think the events tend to be a little better. I also think some of the floor fights, so the non-elite fights, can get a little hairy on the second floor. There's definitely some strong floor fights. The birds, the avocado, all that stuff. But let's see. We are in a non-ascension here, so maybe we can pull around a little bit and see what we do. I'm kind of liking this path over here. We get 3 question marks, a shop where we have some gold now, and then we get an elite here, and I think 1 more elite towards the top. Yeah, we get 1 more elite up here. Should we choose to go that way? So let's try this. Our friend, the Spheric Guardian, starts with a lot of shields. Is going to get even more shields, or I should say block. They got the little shield emblem there, but starts with 40 blocking. We'll gain more. Armaments is an easy play here, and let's play as many strikes as we can. We draw offering. One thing we haven't encountered yet until the Spirit Guardian is an artifact. These little gears down here negates debuffs. So, playing Thunderclap, we'll take an artifact away, but will not apply any vulnerable in this case. So that's a pretty he's a pretty resilient enemy. I'm not sure I would say the most difficult enemies on this floor, but nonetheless. Let's play Feel No Pain and Offering and see if we can get the ball rolling a little bit. Brash also impacted by the artifact. Let's try we can play Anger for free. I think we go ahead and defend and True Grit for the extra block. I guess the defend wasn't really necessary now that I think about it, but we can play out most of our other cards. That may not have been an optimal turn, but I think we're still in pretty good shape here. 10 times 2, that's a pretty hefty amount of damage. Need to be able to do 30 here. D10, and then we could do some block. Let's play a potion. See what we can do. Dark Shackle's pretty bad here because, again, the artifact will prevent the strength loss. I like Mayhem. Mayhem plays the top card of your draw pile every turn. Definitely situations where this can absolutely ruin your day. But let's play it for now. I think what we're gonna do, we'll go defend. We'll drink 2 potions here and then play a body slam just to get a little block on the field too. The next turn, I think we should have a pretty good chance to take this guy out. And there we go. Let's see. True Grit, another exhaust synergy. Ghostly Armor, pre-upgraded and ethereal. Indirectly kind of synergizes with exhaust. If we don't play it, it'll exhaust itself. And 13 block for 1 energy. Nothing to sneeze at. I think that's takeable. I think we need to find a way to get a little more damage into our deck, or at least get block more efficiently so we can play body slam. Keep an eye on. Okay, the Cursed Tome. At the cost of a good amount of HP. I don't remember how much, but we're in like the 20 to 25 range, I think. But you get a book that gives you a significant boon. It's a very good relic most of the time. So let's go for it. So we'll lose 1 HP. Now we're down 3 HP. Now we're down 6 HP. Only 16. Maybe this gets worse as you play higher Ascensions. Let's take the book. Necronomicon, very good relic. First attack that costs 2 or more is played twice, but you do get a curse. And this curse is one that cannot be removed from your deck. There may be some synergies here with Feel No Pain. Keep an eye out for those, but let's take it. Lots of high cost attacks for the Ironclad, so we'll find a reason to use that for sure. 5 Apparition. Let's see. As you continue your ascent, thick black smoke begins to billow out of the ground and walls around you, coalescing into 3 masked forms that start to speak. Another puppet of Niao, I think. Agreed, she always makes the funnest toys. You notice an oversized grin as the third addresses you. Ignore the others. Would you like a taste of our power? We're going to receive 5 Apparition, which means you can become intangible. All damage is reduced to 1 at the cost of 45 max HP, so half of our HP. I think in early Ascensions and non-Ascension mode, 5 Apparition is a tremendous amount of intangible. The right play is to probably take this, but I kind of like having the buffer. We're going to refuse it for now, but I'm not saying in future runs that we won't take this. See, sneaking past a group of shrouded figures, one of them approaches you. Got anything for me, friend? Please, maybe some coin? I just need somewhere to stay. I have treasures I can trade. He seems delusional, but harmless. We can offer 85 gold, which will get us a relic. Or we can obtain a relic, but become cursed with shame. Shame is unplayable and we become frail at the end of our turn. I think we're coming up on a shop here. Let's see. Shop and then an elite. I think I'd rather avoid the curse, keep the gold, and try to buy a relic at the shop. I think they're a little bit cheaper right now compared to higher Ascensions, and I kind of want to just check and see what that's about. So let's see if I made the right call there. Very possible I screwed that up. No, this is looking just fine. Bag of Preparation. At the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. That seems incredibly strong for us. We have the upgraded armaments, which means we'll be upgrading 2 more cards than we normally would be if we play it. Rest. When you rest, heal an additional 15 HP. Choose one of 3 random colorless cards and add the chosen card into your hand with the toolbox. The toolbox is actually a relic that has trended up for me as well. I think this is a pretty good relic. I think getting free cards is pretty much always a positive thing. Also looking at this offering here, offering obviously synergizes with our Feel No Pain, getting a lot of energy, and we have the self-healing, so hard to say no to that, but I think we're going to take the bag of prep, and then we'll call it there for now. Could buy a potion. I don't think we're really hurting that bad for a potion, so let's leave. So let's take our bag of prep and call it. Okay. Campfire, always a positive. I think we can take on an elite. The Book of Stabbing, always a scary one. Damage starts to scale up extremely quickly. But we have a pretty good first draw here. I think armaments is an easy play. Looking at our options, I think we go Feel No Pain first, then Offering to get the block. Let's see, we drew the Necronomicurse. There is no escape. So this is just a dead card, essentially. But I think if we get like the blue candle, can we do something funky with this? If we get an opportunity to do that, we might give it a shot. But let's see. For now, we definitely can full block here. I think Thunderclap is worth a play since we have the energy to do it. No harm in playing 0-cost Anger. I think we want to keep Ghostly Armor around. We'll play that, and then we'll hit him for as much damage as we can do. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. But yeah, Ironclad is definitely my favorite of the main characters. I think that there's just something inherently fun about being able to do tremendous amounts of damage, and there's a lot of ways to break the game with the Ironclad. I don't think he's the most consistent. If I had to rank the big four, I'll include the Watcher in this conversation. I have a tendency to think that the Watcher is probably the best, although not maybe even my least favorite of all the characters. Power-wise, probably something like Watcher on top, maybe Ironclad and Silent 2 and 3. Those two are tough. Those could go either way, and I think Defect is probably the worst in my experience. But Defect is an interesting mechanic, definitely a fun character to play. I think, while fun to play, the Defect suffers from a lack of effective options at the higher level to win consistently. But we'll kind of explore that as we go along. I think the Ironclad has multiple ways to win. I think the Silent definitely has multiple ways to win. I think the Watcher, her damage just scales so quickly. Hard to go wrong with that. So we can double play our Bash with the Necronomicon. That's definitely a good thing. And we have a little extra block if we play True Grit, so we'll play that and try to block a little bit more damage here. Hopefully we'll have a shot to knock the Book of Stabbing out. Not a great draw. We shouldn't be throwing potions around like I am, but I think we'll play Thunderclap Anger, and then we'll try to exhaust all three of these and just see what happens with the Necronomicon. I think it will come back into our deck. I'll throw that out there. And this will get us some block too, so. Yeah, so Necronomicon does come back. Good to know. Taking that 12 there. Definitely bleeding more damage on like 6 times 5. Obviously, scary amount of damage, but we're good here. We'll get a little HP back. White Beast Statue. Very strong relic. Potions always appear in combat rewards, so not only do we get more potions, but we should play them more liberally. I think you heard me say this earlier, but I think potions are basically the best cards in the game. They're 0 cost. They're very strong. And White Beast Statue guarantees that you're going to get more of them. So, happy to have that. Let's see. Flex, Headbutt, Pommel Strike. As everyone does. I'm reading the cards from right to left. Very un-American of me. Let's see. I think Flex is out of the running here. We have some strength already from Guria. Maybe we'll get a little bit more. Headbutt or Pommel Strike, I think both are good. Give us a little bit more hand control. I think Draw is probably better for us. I think Pommel Strike is one of those common cards that scales pretty well into the late game. Upgrading this with armaments also good. Let's take Pommel Strike. 38 out of 90. I'm going to lift again just to take the option away. I think lifting with our current deck is probably not the best choice. I think, either Smith or even a rest there might have been okay. We are under 50% HP, but we got another campsite coming up, and I think we're doing all right. drop an armaments, upgrade our starting hand, which has more cards. We'll go ahead and full block. And then I think now we can go ahead and hit the Thunderclap, make him vulnerable, Anger, Cleave, and then a free Body Slam because it's upgraded. That's a pretty strong first turn right there. Let's see. Do I want to play Offering? I think the answer to that is I think we're close enough to killing this guy that we'll just start dropping our basic attacks. And yeah, there you go. Let's see. Ooh, a free upgraded Body Slam, I think is I think I'm happy to have 2 of those in our deck. Kind of that age-old debate. Is it better to keep the deck small and compact so that you can get the cards you want when you want them? Or is it just good to take good cards, and we just take them no matter what? I think there's probably a balance there, as with everything in Slay the Spire, as good players will tell you. Situational. I think you have to kind of see what you have and like the likelihood that you're going to be able to improve upon what you have. Gonna be honest with you, forgot I had Curse Key, so we did get a curse there. I think we're coming up on a shop and we'll be able to afford a removal. War Paint, upgrade 2 random skills. I think we're happy to have that. Upgraded True Grit, always good. Let's see. So yeah, we'll hit the campfire and then we'll hit the shop and remove the curse that I just foolishly put in our deck without thinking. I probably would have opened that chest anyway. Let's see. I think that there's a lot of good options here. I think we always want to be able to play Body Slam, but we haven't gotten much out of Barricade yet, and it would be nice to be able to play a little more often. 5 cards instead of also strong. We'll go with Offering. Playing a little fast here. Somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, but we'll roll with that for now. Let's see if we can remove this curse. I am going to remove the curse. I will tell you, although we can't afford it, one of my favorite relics in the game is Chemical X. Something about it is just funny to me. I think that it has a lot of synergies on the Defect in particular that are fun. So maybe we'll get a couple of Chemical X runs, even if they're suboptimal later on. Let's take the Clumsy out. Clumsy, not the worst curse. It could be a lot worse than that. I think Regret earlier is significantly worse, but we'll start there. Proceed. Fighting Snecko. It's going to randomize the cost of cards in our hand. This might work to our benefit because we did not draw a Barricade. So maybe that will be cheaper. Let's upgrade what we have. Let's drop Feel No Pain. I don't want to Pommel Strike in case we draw a Barricade, I think. I'm going to do it anyway. And it worked out okay. The other upside to this is if some of our cheaper attacks become more expensive, they will work with the Necronomicon. So let's see what happens here. The 3-cost Offering, not what you're looking for, but 3 0 costs X. I think we'll end up playing Offering. Play what we have first. Zero cost Barricade. Throw that out there. We have 2 Body Slams. I think we'll go ahead and play the Ghostly Armor to get those Body Slams doing a little more damage. Pretty good turn. And we're going to full block here, and we should be on our way next turn. Play a 3-cost Anger. We get our free potion from the White Beast statue. Let's see. Take that. And don't look great at face value, but the Sword Boomerang with Guria. That's 6 damage to a random enemy 3 times. I think that's good enough. We're going to take it. So we have the choice here. Do we want to fight another elite or take 2 campfires? I think with armaments and a heavy first draw, we'll head for the elite and try to get some more relics to break this thing open. Yeah, the snake plant, one of our least favorite enemies of the second floor. I think the snake plant, the avocado, can both be pretty scary at times. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's pop armaments. Let's pop defend. Let's pop feel no pain. Tempted to play for the plated armor. I don't think it's like, we can save that for maybe a boss fight. So you can see our friend the snake plant gets a little block every time it takes unmitigated damage. Smack it again. And we'll end our turn there. We're going to take a little bit of damage here, but not the end of the world. One thing I wanted to talk about a little bit. You know, I'm not a YouTuber by trade. You know, definitely not my bread and butter. Not something I see myself doing forever, but it's something I do at work from time to time with some actual work products. Build videos for my company, help them explain, you know, some of the stuff that I've built engineering wise, and you know, it makes it a little bit more relatable to the everyday viewer. And I think that I kind of saw this as a good opportunity to practice a little bit. So maybe get a little better at public speaking, get a little better at interfacing with some of YouTube's capabilities. So hopefully I get a little bit out of that, and then we can all enjoy some Slay the Spire at the same time. So appreciate y'all watching. Let's see. We'll pop Ghostly Armor. We'll pop True Grit and Exhaust to Strike. Let's see. Too bad we don't have a Body Slam right now. It'd be nice. But doesn't matter. Good to go. Probably would be good to do the math on some of those, but that's okay. Flame Barrier. 16 block and deal damage back. It's a lot of block. Flash is one of those cards that I think is usable on non-Ascension, and particularly before, I can't remember which level of Ascension, it might be 10, where you get a curse in your deck every run that you can't get rid of. So it's it starts in your hand, and then it's ethereal, so it goes away. I think it's Ascension 10. But to me, entrenched with our block, with Barricade and all of our block cards, I mean, I think this, we got to try it. We got to try to break it with some Entrench. And, you know, since we don't have all the achievements yet, in my Steam version of this game, I think there's a block achievement. So maybe we can give that a shot as we go along. What's armaments? This is the Gremlin leader and his Gremlin minions. I think we're in good enough shape here that we can pop Barricade early, throw down a defend, and we will take no damage here. Let's work on the wizard. This guy will do a tremendous amount of damage if we let him live for too long. End our turn there. But yeah, I'm a data guy by trade. I build dashboards, do a little coding, that kind of stuff. Definitely not the spokesperson for everything, but at my day job, I do build some videos. So have a good time with this. This is pretty cool. 9/3. That's pretty significant damage. I think we're far enough away from winning this fight that I'll pop the health potion. It's a little tricky here. Try Thunderclap. Let's definitely take out the wizard. We could double tap the smaller minion. I think we'll go ahead and do that. And we're gonna eat this one a little bit, but with the potion, I think we're fine. I don't think we need offering. And we are getting a little low on HP. I think we'll keep the blocks as much as we can in our deck, so let's not lose Ghostly Armor. And we'll start smacking this guy down a little bit. At my own peril, I'm going to hold on to my potions and the offering. We'll let the potion do its job. Sword Boomerang could very much be a factor here. We have not played Feel No Pain, so no perk there. Pommel Strike and see what we get. Anger's fine. right, we'll get the minions off the field. That's always good. And we got a little more block there. Let's see. I think armaments is good here. We will get a cheaper entrench. And then we can really stack some block, and we should be winning easily after that. Feel no pain out there. Do I want exhaust bash? I think yes, because our win condition is definitely a huge body slam. Get that out of here. We'll double our block. We're looking pretty good. Draw a body slam or two. Let's see. We did not get body slam. We could play offering. I don't think there's any reason to do that, though. Let's just see where sword boomerang hits. All right, we'll get rid of this guy. We'll defend, stack up a little more block, and we're getting close to a one-tap body slam here, even with the damage coming from the fat gremlin. Let's see. 15 by 3. Pretty significant damage there. We did not get body slam. Making sure I didn't exhaust it somewhere along the way. So it is in there. Pommel strike and see if we get it. We did not. 99 or more block. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just do as much as we can here. We're going to lose some of our over block, but that's okay. We still did not get body slam. Wow. Statistician in me is blown away. But don't think it's going to matter. We'll hit as much as we can. And there we go. Some HP back. Bottled Tornado. Start with a power in your hand. So much like Bottled Lightning, except with powers. And similarly to Bottled Lightning, I think we have some options for Tornado. I guess it's basically Feel No Pain or Barricade. I can't imagine that Barricade bad here. It would also be 2 costs after playing Armaments. But let's just see what we get. I'm going to be honest, none of these cards are jumping out at me, so I think we should go ahead and pass here, something we have not done yet. But passing new cards is definitely part of the Slay the Spire game. So probably see a little more of that as we get our mojo back. I'm going to bottle Tornado. I'm going to bottle Barricade. Good. But Slay the Spire wants me to take that card. Sorry, that's an intentional decision. All right, we're going up against the champ. I think we'll rest. I think we would be okay. But no reason to get spicy here. I think we have more than enough to win the third act. So let's keep it safe, especially since we got to get Barricade rolling a little bit first. Look at our cards for a second. No Feel, no Pain, but we'll get Barricade out early and start stacking our block. I'm actually thinking we could get rid of a strike here. Okay. Offering early. I think we go ahead and play offering. Let's get this ball rolling. Let's get things snowballing. Let's get Barricade popping. All right, I think we pop Feel No Pain. Let's Pommel Strike and see if we can get some of our other... Yeah, let's get some more block out there. We are going to lose some of it here, but not terrible. We are going to get a potion after this, so I'm kind of thinking... the Plated Armor, not my favorite potion in the game. There's just not a lot of great times where I feel like you don't lose it right away, but since we have Barricade and we're going to get a potion anyway, we'll throw it out there. A little bit of vulnerable before we attack, and then we'll hit him for a 45. That's a pretty strong start. Okay, we get Entrench. We would like to see this whip around a little bit. Let's get all the block we can out there first. I probably won't play Anger much more than that. We don't want to clog our deck with it. And Necronomicers. Nothing we can do about that. So I will avoid the anger this time. I don't want to play too many angers and then prevent us from getting our blocks and our entrench. Pommel Strike. Drawing the curse is honestly fine. No reason not to play our other attacks. Do a little more damage. And we will stack. Metallicize does stack with Barricade, as long as you don't take too much damage. All right, we'll have a big body slam here. So let's throw out our Thunderclap. We'll defend. Body slam becomes even stronger. Looking pretty good. I think we have a pretty good shot to make it to Act 3 on our first try. Do I want to play Armaments again? I don't see any reason not to, because we want to stack block as much as we can. Double Bash is good, but I think he cleanses all of his debuffs here. I still think it's worth it. All right, so looking like we're going to be okay. 60 health should be plenty. Let's get some more block going. You know what? Get this anger out of here. Yeah, we'll just put a little more block. One body slam away. And there you go. We beat the champ. 103 gold. We get another potion. Attack potion, definitely an upgrade, in my opinion, over the Metallicize. Feed Berserk Offering. My gut says Offering. Berserk, to me, is one of the worst gold cards in the Ironclads. Too vulnerable is just a very significant downside. Obviously, if you have a way to get artifact through like a potion, maybe late in the game, it could be okay. If you get it through like the other book, what is it, Nilroy's Codex? You know, there's situations where I think I'd take it there. Upgraded, I think it's 1 vulnerable. So that's quite an upgrade. That is a lot better. There's a lot of enemies that don't attack you right away. But yeah, to me, this is a tier, maybe multiple tiers below some of the other gold cards. Speed, tremendously strong card. I think if you get it early, you know, especially if you somehow get it through in the Owl's bonus, Feed could be just a game-breakingly great card. I think 2 offerings in our case is good. I think our inhibiting factor right now is card draw and energy. Big offering. Elite drop an additional relic. Black Star. Better earlier in the run when you can fight more elites. Obviously, going into Act 3, we're not going to see that many more elites, even in a best case scenario. At the end of your turn, do not discard your hand. Can't decide if this is good for us. I think this is generally a very strong relic. With 2 offerings in our deck, though, Black Blood seems like the move. We get 12 HP back every combat. Let's upgrade our starting relic. Let's take Black Blood. Okay. 1 act away from winning our first run. Things could definitely still go wrong, so buckle your seatbelts, people. Let's see. I think the Awakened one? Is this what this guy's called? I always just think of him as the powers guy. One of my least favorite 3rd act bosses. Obviously, you're going to see him a lot. There's only 3 options there, but particularly when you're playing the defect, this guy just can be a huge roadblock. We're going to go with our theme of choosing by gut feeling, but we will take a cursory glance at the map. I think a shop, we do want to hit a shop for sure. We have enough gold that a shop is worth it. Kind of looking like this path here. Let's try it. Let's try this way. The armaments. I don't see any reason not to play Barricade. And we'll come away with a little extra block here. Throw down a body slam. Now this guy gains strength every turn. So if you don't take care of him quick, things can get out of hand in a hurry. With Black Blood, I have no fear of playing at least 1 offering. No reason not to play Feel No Pain on top of that. Get a little more block. Let's take as many cards as we can get. And we will be able to play all of our attacks here, but we are going to take a little bit of damage. You know what? We're getting a free potion. I think this will be the consensus best play. If I'm wrong, somebody please tell me, but let's take them out and we'll get our free potion. We get another Essence of Steel. You know, maybe we'll just throw that out there next fight. Draw 2 cards with Burning Pact, and it does have an exhaust. For 1 energy, I think this works for us. Let's take a look. Reaper. Some free healing there. Seeing Red. I used to think Seeing Red was like an S+ tier card. I've definitely cooled off on it. It's good. I think it's up there. It's in the top half of the Ironclad's deck in my mind. Maybe at some point we'll do a little tier list. If we beat the Ironclad, maybe I'll go back and do my own personal tier list. I know there's others out there, and I've definitely watched a few videos of people ranking the Ironclad's cards. I will have no fear of putting some spicy takes in there. This feels like a removal to me. Let's get rid of a strike. Not going to buy a potion with the White Beast statue. Slay the Spire is definitely one of those games that's just so unique. I think it's in almost a class of its own. I know there's other roguelikes out there and, you know, other card games and deck builders, but something about it just seems, it just hits different for me. I do have a tendency to like games like this. I think recently a game that really jumped off the page for me was Blueprints. I think Blueprints was another one that's a little bit unique and really got it right on the first try. But you know, there's some other games I like. I tend to be a console gamer. I mean, I play on PlayStation. I think Uncharted's a great game. I think God of War is a great game. I think, you know, not a very hot take there. I think that as far as some maybe more offbeat games, there's a couple out there. I think Tunic. I'm not sure if you guys have tried Tunic before. But I've been trying to find more games that are maybe not like big AAA titles. And Tunic was one that was kind of a throwback to classic gaming to me. So check that one out if you haven't seen it already. It's definitely worth a playthrough. Reminds me a little bit of like an old school Legend of Zelda game, but, you know, kind of its own thing at the same time. I'll tell you the other game that I discovered recently that just really killed it. And I know this is not a secret to anybody, but Return of the Obra Dinn. That one was pretty cool. I've never seen anything like it. I feel like talking about this out loud, I'm starting to realize, you know, what my taste in gaming might be. Maybe I like games that are more on the unique side, even if they're not, you know, the finest graphics and the cutting edge technology. Interesting. If you guys have any suggestions, definitely let me know. I'm looking for more offbeat games for my list. Let's see. I kind of want to try Burning Pact with the Necronomicus just to see what happens. Bear with me. So it's going to come back, right? So in theory, if I had something that could exhaust like Blue Candle, like this would just come back forever and feel no pain. Yeah, could really be going crazy there. Good to know. That might help us in the future. We're good. Biker obviously deals a little damage back, but doesn't hurt us too badly. I think Snecko Oil is a little better for us than Essence of Steel. Because randomizing the cost of our hand, we have some expensive cards. We'll take the Ancient Potion. I know Power Through has some synergies with Exhaust. I'm going to skip it, but don't hold me to that being the best decision. This is tempting. Do we take the secret portal on our first playthrough? Guys, I'm pretty confident that we have the juice here. And we got 3 potions, full health. I don't think it's going to get much better than this. Let's give it a shot. You know, you hate to have to play the powers, but I think we can afford a barricade and a feel no pain. We'll be all right. Let's hit armaments early. Might as well play Metallicize. I don't think Artifact ever helps us against this guy. I'll probably be proven wrong. I'm going to play the barricade. Try to start working one of these guys down. Do I play Sneckoid? I think no. I think we have enough health and block that we'll be able to make this work. The Grit will work with that Necronomicurse trick if I don't want to get rid of anything here. This wasn't the best decision after all. I don't think I want to lose either of these guys. We would definitely want to keep the defend, and I think Body Slam is worth keeping. 20 damage. We're not going to full block here. All right, we're going to eat damage one more time. If things get hairy after that, we might go ahead and pop our Snecko potion. 2 offerings. I think now we have to get going here. Let's see. All right, we're definitely going to pop this. I think getting rid of a strike is fine. Let's get more block. Now we can really start getting this going. I'm going to pop both offerings, even though we are bleeding a good amount of HP here. I'm definitely okay to get rid of another strike. Strikes basically do nothing for us at this point. That would be 3. So we could pop both of those. Let's defend, entrench. 97. That's pretty nice. Okay. I think we've stabilized here. For those who don't know, this guy does have a second stage, a second moment. So even when we get both of these cultists off the field and take this guy's health to 0, we're not done yet. I think we all had that moment the first time we went up against the Awakened one when we thought, finally, I've beat Act 3. Nope. Not even close. Let's see. More damage to this guy. Stacking block is obviously good, but whittling down our enemy count seems like a good place to start to me. All right, let's get him out of here. I think we're going to hold. I don't know if I want to draw. Let's see. Got some good stuff in here. I think we're going to hold Pommel Strike, just at the risk of drawing a card that we can't play. And we will be able to full block this guy. We've got Entrench coming up. Probably some more blocks with that. Anger, I think, actively takes away from our run. Let's get that out of here. We'll double tap with Bash, and we'll get a little more block. Use our Metallicize. All right, Body Slam. This is looking good. So now we'll draw 3 cards. I want to keep Defend. Entrench costs 2. That is fine. Okay. We're through the first part. Not going to play Anger. Keep our deck as lean and mean as we can. We'll be able to full block this. Let's keep the Burning Pack strats going. Might as well upgrade the rest of these. Don't see why not. And then our Entrench will be cheaper from here on out. Oh, grab Entrench. 216. 222. I'm liking our chances. I am liking our chances. It looks like we might be 1-0 after this this fight. Oh, yeah. That's an exclamation point on a very strong run. Proceed. Thump, thump, thump. A deep pulsing dread can be felt throughout the room. Is this the heart of the spire, the source of this evil? You ready your blade? And you do 682 damage. The heart squirms and bleeds, but ultimately it's still pounding. Are your mightiest attacks not enough? You ask yourself, have I been here before? You feel that you have dealt a total of 682 damage. That is our first win. And a whole bunch of damage. Was that 14 billion? 14 billion damage has been dealt by all who challenged it. The heart pulses louder and louder as your consciousness fades. And we saved our Snecko potion for Slay the Spire 2. Everybody, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Well, there's more to come. Hopefully we'll have a little win streak early on with the Ironclad, but we'll see what happens. But until next time, have a great day. Like and subscribe.